In the previous video, I went over the basics of this machine and recommended that if you were interested in purchasing a machine, the best thing to do is to go out into YouTube and find the machine that you like and watch the tutorials on how to set it up. But since this is the one that I'm demoing for the pillow projects that we're doing, I went over the basics of how to add a spool of thread and how to reroute it through the machine and thread your needle. And then I also went over how to change it from the needle mechanism, the threading mechanism, to add thread to a bobbin, and then we install the bobbin. So be sure to check out, I think it's part 1 of this basic machine overview. Now, the other thing that I realized that I needed to talk to you about was one of the most important things about the machine, in fact, because it comes with multiple accessories. And this machine has other feet that go to this machine, but these are the ones that we're going to be using primarily. And if I do introduce another type of foot, I will definitely go over how to use it. But in this case, one of the things that we're going to be using primarily throughout this tutorial is it's a general all-purpose foot that comes with the machine. And you usually detach it by, there's a little button or some mechanism in the back that allows you to pull it down. And when you're ready to reinstall it, you sit it back under that same little area right there. And then you can lower the foot release in the back and it should click it back into place. Again, you must read the instructions for your machine. In addition to that general foot that we're using, we're also going to be depending heavily upon the zipper foot, which is this little gadget here. And you install it the same way. The difference with this foot, though, is that you can put it on the right side of the attachment or the left side. So you have to move it over. And if you do that, you also must remember to change the direction of your needle. So if you're on the right side, you must change it over here. If you're on the left, you must change it to this position. And then remember to put it back in the center when you remove the zipper foot or the eye foot and return to your general foot. Okay? This little doohickey foot right here can also kind of be a substitute for a zipper foot, but we use this to actually create cording, which is a fancy trim that you can put around pillows. And we'll do that type of project later on in the series. Now, while we're here and we're talking about needles, there's 3 different types, right? And so if you're a novice person and you're just learning how to sew, you might get confused when it comes to pins and needles. No pun intended. We use the pins to keep our project together so that it doesn't shift and doesn't end up being crooked, even if you use pins sometimes, you're going to end up making mistakes. So don't worry about that. That's what this seam ripper is for. And then there are needles that actually go into the machine. And they have different types. And I'm not sure if you can really see those numbers, but you have 8011, 9014, 116. You'll have to look those up, okay? Because I can't tell you exactly what they do. But the one thing that I do want you to focus on and to remember about these is that they come with a painted like upper top or head that is really apparent once you zoom in on the needle. So they do different things. Some you need them for denim, some you need them for different types of fabric depending on what you're working with. And every now and then you'll have to replace your needle. I mean, when I say every now and then, I'm talking about maybe once every 20 or 30 projects, right? Nothing to get alarmed about. And I can almost guarantee you that we've never changed this needle until recently. So we've done tons of projects, but that's because we don't use this machine for the heavy duty stuff that we do, but we are using it for a portion of the projects that we're doing in this tutorial. With that being said, when you remove it, you just simply unscrew this and you hold the needle and it comes out. Now, the good thing about these machines are that you can, it won't even work unless you have it positioned in the machine the correct way. So there's a comfort zone. There's like a groove that if you're pushing it into the machine, it doesn't feel right. So it won't go. And chances are, oops, and chances are you will not be able to sew your project without it going in the right way. Okay, so that's the thing to know. It has a mechanism that receives the tip of the needle in a groove that fits perfectly. So you can't make really, you can make a mistake, but it's hard to make a mistake. All right. All right. So last but not least, we have sewing needles. We have needles that go to our machine, and then we have pins. All right. Oops. The pins, the needles, we use those when we're hand sewing because there are parts of a sewing project that you can't use the sewing machine for. It's finished work. So you then have to go in and do intricate sewing details. And we utilize those needles during our first pillow project where I attempt to teach you how to do an invisible stitch. Okay? Check out that video and you'll see how I actually thread the needle and attempt to show you how to do the invisible stitch. So that does it for the overall overview of a basic sewing machine. I hope this was helpful. Please look at it as often as you need to. And by all means, go out on the internet, go to YouTube, and look at other tutorials. I'll see you in the next video.